Okay, let's have a look at another letter, I should say. I'll just make this a little bit larger so we can see it a little better. Okay. Right, let's have a look. Make sure the changes are on. Okay, so yeah, this is something that somebody posted yesterday. I think it's their first letter in the group, so we'll take a look. So, Mr Zac Foster. So, as I said before, one of the best ways of thinking about writing a letter is put yourself in the shoes of the reader and imagine if the reader only had this document, would it make perfect sense without referring to any case notes? Because in reality, that's how it would be. Okay, they would get this letter and this letter alone. So, name, age, occupation. That's good. Thank you for seeing Mr Foster, a 22-year-old builder who presented with worsening asthma. He requires your further assessment. Okay, that is good. You could make it a little more concise if you wish. I'm writing to request your further assessment of Mr Foster, blah, blah, blah. You could do it like that, but is good enough. Okie doke. Now, Mr Foster has had asthma since he was 3. Well, okay, you don't have to put that. 3. For which he was admitted into hospital twice. I don't know why people you do this 2 times. It's twice, which is for which he was. Okay, so Mr Foster has had asthma since he was 3, for which he was admitted. You can put 3 years old, but obviously it's not going to be 3 days or 3 months. Since he was 3 years old, for which he was admitted into hospital twice. He takes Ventolin, PM, Pulmicort, and 1 puff BD. Okay, that's what? Is that every day or what? He has a history of, and now we've got some short sentences here. So we've got he. You can join some of these up. So Mr Foster has had asthma since he was 3, for which he was admitted in hospital twice. It's sent in from puff. Okay, I would leave that because that's the asthma part. So you've got the eczema, then you've got the asthma again. So I would group the like-minded information. So his history of eczema. Okay, but what's that got to do with me? Eczema, asthma. Okay. Been smoking 10 to 20 cigarettes per day for 4 years. Okay. Quantify the cigarette use. That's good. Don't need that. There's a family history of asthma in his sister. So I would be tempted not to include that because, what's that got to do with lung functions? Lung functions test, not a lot. So we don't really need that. So Mr Foster has had asthma since he was 3 years old, for which he was admitted into hospital twice. He takes Ventolin, blah, 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 blah. He has been smoking for years and just use a conjunction. Family history of asthma in his sister. Okay, so I would do it like that. We don't really need that. Get rid of that. Okay, we'll go twice. Twice. So since he was 3, for which was admitted to hospital twice, and he takes Ventolin. So you could join that to the previous sentence, so you can leave it there. Okay, so on the 11th of the 10th, Mr Foster presented with 2-week history, reference coughing and nocturnal dyspnea. Now, heartburn, a heartburn attack, because heartburn, it's adjective, or it's a compound, it's an abstract noun, so I wouldn't say a heartburn. An episode of heartburn, you can quantify it like that, or heartburn in general. So either he experienced heartburn or he experienced an episode of heartburn. So, Mr. Foster coughing and dyspnea. Additionally, he had experienced. So, past perfect. I don't know if I would use past perfect there. I would have probably put that in the previous sentence. I would have connected it. So Mr. Foster presented to his breathless coughing and nocturnal dyspnea. And I'm not sure, again, I don't want to refer to the notes because in real life I wouldn't have to, because I wouldn't have them. So it should be clear. So I'm not really, from just reading this now line by line, he had experienced past perfect heartburn. When did he experience this? Was it in the 2-week history, or was it a separate episode? If so, when? Was it just one episode? Is it constant? Has he been experiencing heartburn in this 2-week period? Not really sure. Which was consistent was, or why is it was? Presumably, he still has it. So, isn't it is, as a, general condition, present simple, which is consistent with gastroesophageal reflux disease. Therefore, you're not writing an essay. Pantoprazole was prescribed and he was advised regarding Pulmicort adherence and smoking cessation. Now, what about the adherence part? You didn't say anything about him not being adherent. So I'm not really sure where that comes from. You haven't specifically said that he was not adherent, for which you advised him. So I'm not quite sure what that means. Okay, today's review. Mr. Foster has not responded to previous advice. I have discussed, well, we don't need present perfect because you did it today and we know when, so the simple past will suffice. Today's review, Mr. Foster has not responded to previous advice, therefore I discussed with him a Pulmicort missing dose program. Now, we're using that as a noun phrase, a Pulmicort missing dose program. Is there a specific program for missing doses of Pulmicort? Because it's a noun phrase. The head word, it's a noun, and we have an article, so it's a noun phrase. So a particular program, or I discussed, or I advised him to make up all these doses, or something. Alternative smoking. You mean alternative to smoking or quitting? Because alternative smoking, instead of smoking cigarettes, go and smoke a pipe or use a vape, which is not the same. So, do you mean alternative methods of quitting smoking, or something such as that? Because that implies something else. The purpose of those was extended to another 7 weeks. That should be there. That makes more sense there. His investigations, or he didn't do any investigations. The results of tests. But did you mention you were taking any tests? You didn't mention that. Were normal. I'll be grateful if you could evaluate and treat Mr. Foster as you think appropriate. Should be any queries, please contact me. Okay. So it's not too bad. That purpose is good. I would make some of those more complex sentences, group the information a little differently, perhaps, put all the asthma stuff in, we don't really need the eczema stuff. I'm not quite clear as to when that was, if it was a single episode, or when it occurred, if it were a singular episode, or if it was an ongoing condition, part of the 2 weeks. I'm not really sure. You didn't say anything about him being non-adherent, so I don't know why you would be talking to him about that, unless he wasn't adherent. Discuss with him, because we know when it was, and I'm not so clear about what those might be. Okay, so not too bad, but a little clarity, I think, would help this particular letter. Okay, hope that helps.